Hey everybody, John Millen with Benefit Hackers. Hey, I posted something the other day online about a very important feature in medical plans, and the video was quick. It was connected to a podcast. I got some feedback that people would like just a quick video overview of the same topic. So this is something that I talked about a few days ago, and it's something that will burn you and your employees on medical plans that you really need to understand. So if you're an HR manager, CFO, owner of a company, and you make benefits decisions for your employees, you need to take a few minutes and just hear me out on this, because this is something that I personally got burned on about 8 years ago to the tune of $15,000, and I learned my lesson. It was very hard to figure out. Here's the issue. When you're looking at the deductible in a medical plan, there's something called an embedded and a non-embedded deductible, and you need to find out which kind of deductible you have. What happened is a couple of years ago, we started seeing a lot of the non-embedded deductibles in the medical plans, and it wasn't real clear. And in fact, 8 years ago when I had a plan, it was so unclear that I had to literally go to the back of the book, and it was in one little line in the back of the book. Like, it was so hidden. And so carriers are starting to convey this a little more, but sometimes when you're in a meeting where you're getting a quick overview, you don't have the whole plan document, and they don't always show everything. And so I've seen this over the years of employers rolling out new medical plans. And at the end of the meeting, I might go up and ask someone that runs that plan. Maybe I'm not in charge of the medical. I'll say, hey, by the way, is that an embedded or non-embedded? And they look at me like I have no idea. And so then they go to their health broker or the agent, and then they go, no idea. And I'm like, that's shameful. That's like asking someone, does our plan have prescription coverage or no prescription copays? Like, does it have a copay for doctor? Like, how big is the network coverage? Those are simple questions, but these are things that are not being looked at. That's what we really like to do at Benefit Hackers, is make sure and dig in deep and make sure you understand. I'm not saying that non-embedded deductibles are bad or that embedded deductibles are good. They're just different, and they're structured differently so that you don't understand. So here's the way it works. This really only applies if you have more than just yourself on the medical plan, okay? So this usually doesn't apply or come up if it's a single person enrolling. It's only where in your company, if you have an employee that adds a spouse, child, or family coverage, that this triggers, okay? That's the first tip. It's only there if you have more than one person. If it's one person, it doesn't apply, okay? So what it does is it means that the deductible is either embedded or non-embedded into the family deductible. So there's two different deductibles. There's a deductible an employee meets, right? And then there's usually another number that the total family, and the family could be 8 kids and you and a spouse, or it could be you and a spouse or you and a child. The family unit is more than just you. There's that deductible that you have to hit. So there's an individual deductible, there's a family deductible, and then there's co-insurance that kicks in. I've lost some of you maybe. And then there's an out-of-pocket maximum, which is the maximum exposure. And then you have in-network coverage and out-of-network coverage, and that's a whole nother deal. So, but I'm focusing on the deductible for right now. If you have an embedded deductible and it's you and a spouse on a plan, and let's say you have a $2,000 deductible plan for an employee only, and that's $4,000 for the family, and you have an embedded deductible plan, what is your individual deductible? It's $2,000. Okay? Simple. If it's embedded, it's embedded. Everybody gets to satisfy their own deductible, and then their co-insurance kicks in until these upper limits kick in. Okay? Let's say that same scenario, you have a non-embedded deductible, 2,000 employee, 4,000 family, and you have, so what is your single by yourself? What is your deductible in that case? It could be $4,000, not two. And I say could be because one person typically has to satisfy the family deductible before the co-insurance starts kicking in, essentially. I'm keeping it simple. So what happens is you see on the slide in a meeting, deductibles 2, families 4, and nowhere on there does it say embedded or non-embedded. An employee goes to use the plan and wonders why they're continuing to pay out of pocket well past the $2,000 deductible. What they pay all the way up to the $4,000 before co-insurance kicks in. That's the steamy part. And that's the part that most people are not aware of. So please pay attention. If you can't tell what you have, I'm going to invite you to go to our website and just tell me you have a plan. You can send me over your plan design and I'll take a look. Sometimes it's real clear. Sometimes I even have to dig. Like sometimes it's in hieroglyphics. So hackmybenefits.com. You can check it out. Send it to us there. So 8 years ago, we had a $7,500 deductible, my wife and I, and it was capped at $7,500. So essentially it was a pure, once you hit $7,500, the deductible is satisfied. We had a $15,000 family deductible. So like, hey, cool, $7,500 for me, $7,500 for her, fairly healthy. And then we had twins. And what happened is that we had medical issues that were starting towards the end of the year. And once we got to 7,500, we're like, okay, we're max. We kind of planned for it. And then bills kept coming in well past 7,500. And what happened is we had a non-embedded deductible. And guess what her medical bills went up to? 15,000. Worst case, not worst case, but it just happens that it flipped over to the next year in January and we started all over again. That's beside the point. The point is that we went past 7,500 because it was a non-embedded deductible. That's when I learned the difference. So if you don't know and you need help, reach out to us. If you don't know and you ask your agent you work with and they don't know, fire your agent. I'm sorry to all my broker friends. Like if you can't tell them, I'm not saying you have it memorized, but if you can't tell them, hold on real quick. Okay, boom. You're not doing your job. You need to understand this. And if it takes 3 days because someone has to call the carrier rep and they have to dig into their system, that's not acceptable. Does anyone think that that's acceptable? When you told the employee at the meeting it was 2,000 and we know in the back of the room it's not 2 if it's a whole family, like one person might pay 4, but they're not going to know about it until they get burned. And they're going to come back to you, the owner, the CFO, the HR manager. They're coming back to you. And they're going to say, it's your fault that you didn't educate me and I wasn't aware of this. And don't rely on just the SBC that you pass around or post online and no one reads it. You need to make sure people understand embedded versus non-embedded deductible. We would love the chance to help you. You might not have insurance now. Hackmybenefits.com. Reach out to us. It goes right to me. I'll reach out. We'll have a quick chat. We'll see if we can help. You have benefits, you want a second opinion, go to that website, hackmybenefits.com. Quick chat. If you want to just get some additional strategies and ideas, there's a whole bunch of strategies I lay out there. Check it out. Be glad to help you. Submit the form. We're not high pressure. We're not going to push you in any direction, but we're going to try to help you. And if there's a fit, we will try to help you. And if not, we'll tell you you're good. So all's good. So thanks for listening. Sorry this is a little lengthy, but this is a really, really important topic, especially now. And I'll tell you one last thing. I came out of some carrier trainings and they're starting to bring these non-embeddable deductibles back. So be very careful. When you see that, what are you going to think? Let's see if it's just me, one person, one employee. Cool. Uh-oh. Anyone that adds somebody else? Oh boy, we need to make sure that everyone understands that. And that's where the complexity comes in. So the other thing we try to do is keep things simple. Keep things simple. You don't need 3, 4, and 5 medical plans. You need one designed well with a zero deductible solution. And that's the best thing I can say is don't make it so complicated for people. I'm seeing plans now that have multiple options. They have an FSA, they have a back-end HRA, and then they have HSA contributions for these plans, and then HRA across the board. It's ridiculous how complicated we are making it for clients. If you're a business and you want things simple, give me a call, reach out to us. We're glad to help. Thanks.